Richard Sibbes, 1577 to 1635. Warm-hearted preacher. Steam hissed into Richard's face, and he blinked. He pulled another wheel shoe from the fire and quickly nailed the red-hot iron strip onto the curved wooden felloe. Then he plunged that section of the wheel into the water. As his eyes closed against the rising steam's heat, he thought again of a Bible text that seemed branded in his mind. But his word was in mine heart as a burning fire, shut up in my bones, and I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay. Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 9b. Jeremiah's words reflected the longing of Richard's heart. How could he stay here, working as a wheelwright in his father's shop, when other desires burned like a fire within his very bones? He grunted as he lugged the heavy wagon wheel out of the water. He set it on a wooden frame to cool and dry. Immersing the hot metal shoes had shrunk each one and fastened them securely to the hickory felloes. The felloes joined tightly to form the wheel's sturdy tire. He picked up the circular tool called a traveller and ran it around the cooling metal rim to measure the wheel. Exactly right. Then he turned to the round bench, shaped like a huge stool with 4 strong legs and a centre post. He slipped an elm hub, already banded with iron, over the post. Between the bands, a row of evenly spaced rectangular holes had been cut to seat the spokes. As Richard turned to pick up a sharp chisel, he wiped his sweaty hands on his leather apron, which reminded him of the leather breeches he'd worn to school as a young boy. After grammar school was dismissed each day, the other boys ran outside to shout and play. But Richard would open a book and start the mile-long walk home. Sometimes the boys stopped him, teasing him about being too poor for better breeches. As soon as he was able to escape, he'd go his way, reading while he walked. Ever since he could remember, he'd loved to read and learn. But books cost money. His father, with Richard and 5 younger children to feed, didn't see the need to purchase anything as unnecessary as a book. Richard sighed and continued carefully smoothing out the holes with his chisel. Father had wanted him to begin working in the shop as a young lad, but someone, perhaps the grammar school teacher, had persuaded his father that Richard should continue his education. He'd been permitted to attend the school at Bury St. Edmunds. Richard smiled as he remembered those happy years, learning so much at school and reading or enjoying creation while walking the few miles there and back. What a lovely trek in pleasant weather. Purple cornel blossoms poked through gaps in the hurdle fences, which lined the winding road like woven baskets. In May, the prickly hawthorn hedgerows burst into bloom. The blossoms were beautiful, but his nose wrinkled at the memory of their pungent odour. It reminded him of dead fish. Then his education had come to an end. His father was tired of buying books,